All right, let's look at how to cold call internationally, from your country to somewhere else. Now, we all carry around head trash about ourselves. These are limiting beliefs, and they're only in our own minds. That's where they are. Limiting beliefs. Oh, they're going to think my accent is funny. You don't think that I talk to people in Australia or Malaysia or the United Kingdom and worry that they're not going to understand my Canadian accent? Yes, that's right. I started in Vancouver, Canada, and I moved 3,000 miles to North Carolina. And you may think they speak the same language here. Not really. You may think they eat the same food here. Not really. You may think that they have the same desires as they did back home in Vancouver. No. It's a different country here. So, head trash. Head trash could be things like that. I'm worried about how I sound, how I'm perceived, what people are going to think. Head trash can also be about money. My head trash has a bit more, quite a few more zeros after the number than most people, but I still have head trash. I still have places where I get nervous and unsure. So, is it really that surprising that you feel this way? No. But what we can do here is bring this head trash into the light of day, out of the unconscious or subconscious and into the conscious realm where we're aware of it. And then we can work on it, change it, do something about it. So, it's all head trash. If you're worried about how you're going to sound, that's head trash. If you're worried about how people are going to encounter you and talk with you and how that's going to turn out, that's head trash. Until you actually go do it and get some real live feedback, it's just head trash. So, what I found out, and my clients have found out, is that you, Y-O-U, are the most critical person of yourself. We're all incredibly self-conscious. We live with ourselves 24 hours a day. You're in your own head. You know everything about yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We need to take a moment here and remember your prospects know nothing about any of that stuff. All they are going to know are the few words that you say to them over the phone. That's it. That's it. That's all they're going to get about you. That's it. At least for now. Maybe later you can develop your relationship with them. But all they're going to get is this little snippet of you. So it's not an accurate picture of you, is it? They're not even going to get the real you. They're going to get this little chunk of conversation. And that's it. So let's get out of being critical on ourselves and look at the reality of calling, okay? If you're going to succeed with making calls, there's a couple of numbers that you need to know about. Or else, the consequences are you are going to beat yourself up and fail. We're going to look at those numbers on the next slide. And from that, we're going to understand, from these couple of numbers, we're going to understand that persistence, which is consistent effort, and working the law of averages, which we're going to find out about to your advantage, are the key to success. If you go for the Hail Mary football play, and I'm talking about American football here, where we're going to, at the last minute, try and throw that huge long bomb and get it caught by the receiver and have a big touchdown and woo, we're going to win the game. If you try and do that with cold calling, and the equivalent of that in the cold calling world is, I'm going to sit down and do 6 hours of cold calling and call like 200 people and bang it all out. You will fail. If you get a sale out of that, I will be astonished because of the numbers we're going to look at. It could happen. You could get lucky. You could. In my world, though, I don't depend on luck. And I don't have my clients depend on luck. We got to do something else. We need to kind of grab this dragon by the tail and get it to work for us. This law of averages. Expectations. If you don't understand the numbers I'm about to share with you and you get into cold calling, your expectations will be so out of whack, so wrong, that you will have no choice, rationally, but to beat yourself up. On average, half the people you call will not be in. They will not answer. On average. Good day, bad day. Some days everyone's going to want to talk to you. Other days nobody's going to want to talk to you. But if you call consistently, which you will need to succeed, this is what it will average out at. Half will not be in right off the bat. Of those who do answer the phone, half of them can't actually talk right now. Why'd they answer the phone? Maybe they're worried their boss was calling. Maybe they thought it might be a customer. Maybe, and this is the most common thing, maybe they have an urgent, emotionally driven, huge problem in their world that we are never going to know anything about, probably. But it is huge to them. And they answered the phone to find out whether this call is about that problem. And the moment they discover that that is not it, it's not the subject of the call, they got to get out of there. They have to leave to go fight that fire that they have. Not our fault. Expectations. Look at this. Total this up. 3/4 of your dials, on average, will not reach a decision maker who can talk to you today. So imagine a guy who doesn't know this. He gets out there, he makes some calls. Look, people don't answer the phone. Nobody wants to talk. I'm not interested. They're off in 10 seconds. Oh my gosh. I made 30 dials and nobody wanted to talk to me. I quit. This is horrible. You know what? Here comes the beat up, the self beat up. I must not be doing something. Or maybe I am doing something and it's not right. There must be something wrong with my script. Wait, tone of my voice. Was that good enough? I don't know. Maybe I need a voice coach. These accountants stink that I'm trying to call anyway. I need to quit calling them and call bakers. Well, that'll get me off the phone because I need to go make a new list. Wait, and you know, I probably called at the wrong time. And so they furiously start changing every variable they can think of. And then they go back and they try calling again, maybe, and they fail again in their own mind. Because nothing that you or I can do will change this law, these laws of averages here. Half the people you call won't be in, and half of those who do answer can't actually talk right now. That 75% is going to stick with you. And it's the same for me when I call. So, manage your expectations. We don't expect to talk to a decision maker today when we call, the first day. The odds are against us. Then we run into this problem. The beginnings of most sales calls are so bad that there is no rest of the call. That's it. So let's start by picking a niche. Accountants, banks, lawyers, cleaning companies, I don't care. But stick with one niche at a time. Do not jump from one to the next. Don't call an accountant and then a dry cleaner and then a bank and then a police station and then a bakery. You are never going to get any depth of knowledge. You need to find out what's going on in the world of your prospects. What problems and symptoms of problems that they're experiencing that you can solve. And so if you stick with a niche and you're only talking to accountants, guess what? After a week, hey, I'm talking to a new prospect, but I remember this conversation. I've had this conversation 4 times before. This must be one of those common things. Now you're starting to learn. Now you're starting to get an idea of where you can share value to these accountants, to this niche. Now you're getting an idea of what to say in their jargon, in the problems of their world that they will understand. And you get instant credibility by this when you do it well. After all, how could you know what you just said unless you had worked with somebody just like them? Instant credibility. Stick with one niche. Do not jump around. Stick with it for at least a week. Probably 2, probably a month. Call your list to death. Second thing here, you need an effective 30-second commercial. This is about beginning the calls. Start a call, person answers, you say, "Hi, John. Can I take a quick minute, tell you who I am and why I called, and then you can decide whether we should keep talking or not?" Does that sound fair? Okay. Does this sound like a regular call, sales call? No. Regular sales call, 10 minutes, uninterrupted, of the features and benefits of aluminum siding, shot like a machine gun at the prospect, who goes, "Oh my goodness, another awful sales call. I wonder how long this is going to be. I don't want to be rude and hang up on this guy, but what the heck? I can't take it anymore. You know what? I rent an apartment. I can't even use aluminum siding. No qualification process at all." An effective 30-second commercial sounds like this. Here's mine. My name is Jason, and I work with business owners, sales managers, and salespeople who are frustrated that price keeps coming up as the number one objection from prospects. They're concerned that their revenue is up one month and down the next like a yo-yo. Maybe they're upset because they or their salespeople are either unwilling or unable to make prospecting calls consistently and effectively. But I don't know if you're experiencing any of those issues. And then I just shut up and let them respond. We start with a small upfront contract, which is that little thing that I said at the beginning. Can I quickly tell you why I called, and then you can tell me whether this is of interest to you? That's permission. It puts them under a little obligation. If I do this, will you do that? That's an upfront contract. And then move to increasingly powerful ones, all the way up to, if I provide you this product or service, will you give me this much money? That's the most powerful upfront contract there is. And that's called a sale. We want to find out about our prospects' world, not shoot features and benefits at them. Prospects are not impressed with features and benefits, unlike what traditional selling would try and have you believe. That's why the telemarketers don't do very well and have to make a zillion calls. What I do is completely different. Let's get the law of averages on our side. Get it on your side. Call consistently, 1 or 2 hours twice a day. Yes. Call when your market's in their office, available to talk to. Don't call the nightclubs during the middle of the day. Don't call the supermarkets in the middle of the night. Pretty basic. But you never know what people are going to do. If you call 1 or 2 hours at a time, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's good. I mean, part of the fear of cold calling is looking at that list of 200 names and numbers and going, oh my gosh, I got to get through all this. This is going to be awful. If you divide it up into chunks and worry less about the numbers than the consistent time put in, you will have a much easier time. 1, 2 hours has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I can see the end before I start. And so that takes a great weight off. Now, we're going to fill our calendars with high probability times to call decision makers back. Yes. This is how we're going to feel we have progress. We're going to call. Let's say we start calling on a Monday. We expect not to talk to many decision makers today. The laws are against us. That's 75%, right? Why beat ourselves up? It's not our fault. There's nothing we can do about it, except find the name of the decision maker and ask the gatekeeper, hey, if you were in my shoes and you really had to talk to this person, what time would you call back? And you go and you put it in your calendar for tomorrow at 2 o'clock, whenever it is, right, that they say. And now you have a time to call a decision maker back. Cool. Do this 10 times. Now you've got 10 appointment times to call decision makers back that you have a better than average chance of talking to them. This feels good. This is how you make progress. You're zeroing in on these people. So you call tomorrow at 2 o'clock. If they're not in, that's okay. That's the laws, right? Half the people won't be in that you call. Move it forward a couple days to Thursday and keep calling every couple of business days. You will get to talk to them. Persist until you get that conversation. This is why you need to call consistently. You can't do one monster session of calling and expect to get results. It will not work for you. It might not work for me. Have to call over several days, at least, for it to get work. And if you do get work, I just had a mental jump there. If you do get work, say you're a web designer and suddenly you get a project, don't stop calling. Continue to call while you're working, at least an hour a day. You will be more confident. After all, you've got work in your pocket, and you need to keep filling the pipeline so that at the end of the few days or week or 2 weeks or whatever it is that the project is done, when that's done, you don't have an empty pipeline. You need inertia working on your side. You need 20 projects ongoing at a time in your pipeline in various stages. So that if 1, 2, 3 drop out, who the hell cares? Still got 15, 17 left. And I'm filling my pipeline again. If you have one lead and it dies, oh, I'm devastated. Oh, I have to stop. I feel terrible. My world has come to an end. No. We want an abundance of projects going on at any time, in any stage of development. Some can die, some can move on, some can become sales. Excellent. Your job is to sort, not to sell. Your job is to sort with these conversations. Prospects, from suspects. People who are ready to buy in the near future or now, from those who don't. Spend your time and energy on those who have an urgent need for what you have to offer. That's what you're sorting for. You will have a much easier time. So in conclusion, get these laws of averages working on your side. Try to identify as much of the head trash as possible that you have, that you're carrying around. Don't worry about what other people are going to think. Get out there and make calls consistently. There are people who stutter. There are people who have terrible accents, and you know what? They sell just fine because they fill their pipeline with enough opportunities like this. This doesn't sound so bad, right? Calling it an hour a couple times a day. You want to grow your business? Go do that. It's going to work, but you got to invest more than 2 hours. You understand? There's no magic bullet here. Consistent effort, persistence is the key to success.